we deserve, but at the same time, like, we need to play basketball. That's what our fans crave, and that's what all of you crave as well, is you want the product on the floor. And at the end of the day, that's how you make the money, that's how you're marketable, that's what the fans get excited about, that's what the fans want to show up for. So, you know, it's business and it's a negotiation, and there has to be compromise on both sides, and, you know, we're starting to get down to the wire of it, and it's becoming really important, and you know, obviously I want to help in any way I can, and I've tried to educate myself the best I can. Obviously I can't speak.
That moment distilled the central message the WNBA will face all season long. While attention continues to drift toward internal conflicts and the push and pull of collective bargaining debates, Caitlin Clark delivered one clear, unmistakable statement. This momentum cannot be put at risk. And she's absolutely right.
Guys, WNBA fans are so excited because Caitlin Clark is finally back on the court playing basketball, and it seems like she is 100%. She is going 5v5. Team USA is currently holding their training camp. So all the ladies will be in Durham this weekend training. As you can see the roster here, Lauren Betts, Aaliyah Boston, Cam Brink, Paige Beckers, Veronica Burton, Sonia Citron, Caitlin Clark, Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Dearica Hamby, Kiki Ariafen, Rakia Jackson, Brianna Jones, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Jude.
In December 2024, Team USA's training camp in Durham brought together 16 of the world's top women's basketball players, officially in preparation for the 2026 FIBA World Cup. But beneath the surface, the atmosphere was tense. With the WNBA Players Association and the league deadlocked in collective bargaining talks, failure to reach an agreement by January 9th could place the entire 2026 season in real jeopardy for these athletes, an unvarnished reality, not hyperbole. The roster features stars such as Lauren Jackson, Brianna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Paige Buchers, and Caitlin Clark. Yet, this gathering was about far more than basketball. The camp took place at a critical moment in the WNBA story, where what players set off the court carried as much, if not more, significance than what they showed on it.
I think there are different things that we can find ways to say, no, like, we certainly deserve that, and we're not going to compromise on that, and then other things that we can probably compromise on. But like I said, like, this is the biggest moment in the history of the WNBA, and I don't want that to be forgotten. Similar, like, it's important that we find a way to, you know, play this next season, and I think our fans, and even everybody that has played in this league that has come before us.
Notice how she frames it. This isn't just a big moment in league history. It's a defining one. And her immediate pivot to protecting next season reveals the deeper point. Caitlin Clark understands what needs to be said plainly and forcefully. Sustainable growth cannot exist without games being played. Look back just 1 year. The 2024 season was still uncertain. Clark's transition to the pros was an open question. Angel Reese's impact at the professional level was unknown. Average attendance sat around 6,500 fans per game. Fast forward to now, and the Indiana Fever alone are drawing more than 17,000 fans every night. That's not incremental progress. It's a seismic shift. Clark's words carry weight because they reach beyond basketball itself. They address the business reality that seems to be getting lost in the current negotiations. The WNBA has just wrapped up the most successful season in its history. Ratings jumped by 70%. A new media rights deal worth $2.2 billion over 11 years was secured, and expansion fees climbed to $50 million per franchise. This is the kind of organic momentum professional leagues dream of, and the kind they can't afford to squander.
Give it up for Caitlin Clark's answer. Thank you, Caitlin. This is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. I feel like I have been screaming this at the top of my lungs through all of the messiness that has happened over the past 2 seasons in the WNBA. You have a moment right now in women's basketball, and specifically in the WNBA. You have a boom that we have never seen in the history of this league. Do whatever you can to not mess it up, and they've already done multiple things that is like
compromise, however unpopular it may be in the current climate, is an inescapable reality. Players are pushing for year-round charter flights, not just for playoff teams, along with a larger share of league revenue and higher pay across the board. These demands are justified. But the urgent priority is reaching enough agreement now to prevent a work stoppage that could unravel everything the league has recently built. At the same training camp, Kelsey Plum described the CBA negotiations as discouraging, pointing to a wide gap between the two sides. With December 2024 already here and a January 9th deadline looming, there is little time left to close that divide. Unlike the NBA, whose massive fan base and deep infrastructure allow it to weather a lockout, the WNBA does not have that luxury. This league is still being constructed, and pausing its progress mid-build will be a mistake with consequences that may not be reversible.
Playing against them. Kelsey Plum off the screen, kicks to Caitlin Clark for three. Caitlin Clark up the court. Another three. Caitlin Clark off the screen, another three. Her shot looks really good. There were other photos of her going around, I feel like the past couple weeks also, saying that it looks like she dropped some of the muscle that she did gain before last season. It's hard to tell. To be honest, you guys, I'm not really like body watching.
Watch the sequence carefully. It captures the intensity of the demand for WNBA content even in the offseason. Caitlin Clark hadn't played competitive basketball since September 25th, 2024, when the Fever were eliminated by the Connecticut Sun in the first round of the playoffs. More than 2 months without seeing Clark on the floor had only heightened the anticipation. Yet in this moment, she looks effortless. Her movement is fluid, her footwork sharp, her release smooth and confident, with no hint of hesitation. Any lingering concerns from her rookie season, questions about added strength, plantar fasciitis, or other soft tissue issues, fade immediately when you see her in motion. She appears comfortable, healthy, and most importantly, clearly enjoying herself.
You know, we had the photos last year from Media Day when she was like flexing and all that, and you could clearly see that she had put on a lot of muscle, but it's hard to tell here, so I'm not really going to comment on it. But there were some fans that were saying it looks like she dropped some of the muscle that she put on, and a lot of people were wondering if that is why she had so many soft tissue injuries during last season, but again, I don't know. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And here's another clip, you guys, of Caitlin Clark's signature three. She's dribbling the ball up the court, goes to her left, step.
Paige Bucher's game-winning sidestep against Caitlin Clark quickly went viral. Critics were quick to spin it as proof of something definitive, but they missed the point entirely. This is exactly what fans want. Two elite talents going head-to-head in genuine competition, free of manufactured rivalries or social media hype, just pure basketball. The dynamic between Clark and Buchers is fascinating because it represents different paths to excellence. Clark entered the WNBA as the most celebrated rookie in recent memory, meeting expectations despite intense physical pressure and scrutiny, cementing her star power. Buchers, meanwhile, arrives with similar anticipation but brings a distinct skill set, more defensive versatility and adherence to team systems. That contrast in style is what makes their matchup so compelling. More importantly, this training camp, these scrimmages, and this kind of content are exactly what the WNBA needs. More, not less. A work stoppage would wipe it all away. No games, no highlights, no viral moments, no casual fans turning into devoted supporters. The very engine driving the league's growth would grind to a halt.
This is the kind of basketball that so many WNBA fans have been missing. And there's another clip that is also currently going viral, and it's Paige Buecher's sidestep three on Caitlin Clark. And now obviously the Caitlin Clark haters are loving this, but I also love this too. I love to see two great players like Paige, like Caitlin, playing either on the same team or against one another. But check this out. So there's a long rebound here. Paige gets it, pump fake, sidestep, drains the three. And
Angel Reese posting up Paige Buchers, with Jackie Young rotating in provide help. This sequence highlights the advanced defensive schemes the WNBA often gets underestimated for. Even in a practice setting, with players still getting familiar with each other, the defensive attention Caitlin Clark draws is undeniable. In this scrimmage, the intensity to contain her is clear. Buchers actively denies her the ball, while Young provides help defense, all without a formal game plan. Now imagine that level of defensive focus in a playoff setting. This also challenges the oversimplified narrative that Clark can't play defense. Watch her positioning. She isn't gambling for steals or overextending. She stays disciplined, maintains her assignment, and funnels opponents into the help defense. It's fundamental basketball. While she may not be an elite defender, her competency more than suffices given the offensive load she carries.
We'll just call them Team Gray right here in Team USA training camp. But it is so interesting because so many outlets are picking up this clip and it's like, oh, Paige Beckers drains a three in Caitlin Clark's face. And she did. She absolutely did. But this is fun. I just love to see all these young players.
This moment represents a pinnacle of the WNBA's current trajectory. Players from diverse backgrounds, draft classes, and experiences are united by one goal, representing Team USA at the highest level. The energy is electric, visible in their celebrations and relentless competitiveness. This is women's basketball at its purest. Yet all of this momentum could vanish if the 2026 season is derailed by CBA disputes. Team USA would continue. Players would keep training, but the WNBA, the foundation enabling these moments, would suffer irreparable damage. The CBA negotiations are delicate. Both sides have valid arguments, but the consequences of failure are heavily asymmetrical. A work stoppage would cost players a year of prime earning potential and halt league momentum, while resistance from the league risks alienating fans and damaging player relationships permanently. Players are asking for reasonable improvements. Universal charter flights, not just for playoffs, better salaries, and a larger, clearer revenue share. Currently, charter flights are limited mostly to back-to-back games in the postseason, while the NBA has long provided full charter access. The physical and mental toll of commercial travel on elite athletes is unsustainable. Revenue sharing also lacks transparency, unlike the NBA's guaranteed 50-50 split. And with new media deals bringing in $200 million annually from 2026 onward, clarity is essential. The league argues, as Commissioner Kathy Angelbert has noted, that it has largely operated at a loss, subsidized by the NBA. Analysts debate the accuracy of these reported losses. But even assuming they are true, financial realities must be considered. Players counter that investing in better travel, pay, and conditions will generate returns in performance, fan experience, and league growth, an argument that is almost certainly correct. The core question is whether these investments can be made now, or if they must wait for future revenue growth. Caitlin Clark's remarks cut to the heart of this tension. She acknowledges the players' rightful demands, but stresses that the cost of not playing may outweigh the cost of compromise, a pragmatic, business-minded perspective essential to these talks. Consider the stakes. The 2024 WNBA season averaged 1.2 million national viewers, up from 440,000 in 2020, with finals averaging 1.63 million. Attendance rose 48% year over year. This explosive growth is tied directly to stars like Clark and Reese. Yet momentum in women's sports is fragile. Look at the NWSL, which lost 2021's gains due to 2022 scheduling and scandal issues, taking 2 years to recover. The WNBA cannot risk a similar setback. Expansion adds another layer. San Francisco joins in 2025, with Portland and Toronto planned next. $50 million expansion fees reflect investor confidence, dependent on continued play from stars like Clark, Reese, and Buchers generating interest and tickets. Clark herself has turned down lucrative overseas opportunities and endorsements to prioritize the WNBA's growth. Her commitment underscores the urgency. If she says we need to find a way to play, the January 9th deadline is non-negotiable. Without a new CBA, the current one expires, risking a lockout or strike, toxic legal battles, and long-term damage to trust and credibility. The solution is genuine compromise. Players must identify absolute non-negotiables while considering phased implementation for other demands. Full charter access might not be feasible by 2026, but could be guaranteed by 2028. Revenue sharing could gradually move toward 50%. The league must recognize that these elite athletes are generating substantial revenue and attention. Treating them as a charity or developmental league undermines the WNBA's credibility. To be a serious professional league, investment in the product is essential. Caitlin Clark's press conference was a wake-up call. She made clear what truly matters: playing basketball, growing the game, building on momentum, and securing the league's future. Negotiation tactics, public posturing, or short-term gamesmanship are secondary. If the WNBA and Players Association fail to act, letting this moment slip due to ego, stubbornness, or short-term thinking, it will go down as one of the gravest missteps in sports history. The coming weeks will determine women's basketball's trajectory for the next decade. Will the WNBA build on 2024's remarkable growth or squander it with a work stoppage? Will players secure fair conditions and compensation or be forced to choose between principles and careers? Caitlin Clark's answer is unmistakable. Find a way to play. Ultimately, it's about the game, the fans, and the future of women's basketball. Everything else comes second.